Hey, what's up guys? Rob here. And today I'm going to be participating in a tag video. Even though I wasn't tagged, I thought I would give my 2 cents, answer some questions about superheroes. And those of you who know me know that my 2 main staples when it comes to movies are horror films and superhero films. Both of those genres I've loved ever since I was a kid, and I still do. But the tag video, I saw Sean Urshan's response to this topic, and I thought it was interesting. So, the tag is called Marvel vs. DC. Tag created by Isaac's Reviews. I'll definitely put his link in the description. But yeah, there are 7 questions that have to do with Marvel and DC. So, I'm going to answer them, starting with the first one. If you were a superhero, who would you be and why? That was a hard one because until recently, I probably would have said Batman. But the superhero that I'm going to mention, I just love his wit and he's brilliant and he's master of the mystic arts, and that is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a badass. I loved his performance in this movie, but I really loved his performance in Infinity War. He took on Thanos, and he's like you've been brought in front of the master of the mystic arts. He's like, you may regret that. And he put up a fight against Thanos. Just the stuff that he can do, it's amazing. I mean, he even does some stuff in Thor Ragnarok. A lot of wizard stuff. And I really am into that. I just love how he is the protector of our reality, and he's able to see into different dimensions, and it's amazing. He possesses such knowledge, but I love it. I love him as a superhero. So if I had to be anybody, I would be Doctor Strange. I mean, he could even levitate, with the cape. So, that's my answer to number 1, Doctor Strange. Number 2, if you were a super villain, who would you be and why? Well, I had to think long and hard about this, but my answer to that would be Doomsday. This is a really cool film right here, an animated film called The Death of Superman. Of course, I read the comics back in the day, the Death of Superman comics, where Doomsday basically kills Superman and he's reborn. But the thing about Doomsday is, he reminds me of Hulk, but 100 times stronger. Doomsday, the thing about him is, you can't kill him. If you beat him a certain way once, you cannot beat him that way again. That's how he's in the comics. Let's say let's say you stab him to death or something, or if you pierce him or whatever, you can't do that to him a second time. It's like he adapts to any situation. So that's that kind of power, and that kind of, being that kind of villain where it's just destruction, and no one can really stop you unless Superman fights you, I guess. But I think he is the ultimate villain, really. I mean, he's not, Doomsday is not really smart. He's more like Hulk. When Hulk is going into a rage and just smashing everything, that's kind of what Doomsday is. Doomsday is there to kill, pretty much. So I think it would be fun to just wreak havoc and stuff. I don't know. Doomsday, I'd pick Doomsday. That's my answer for number 2. What kind of supervillain would you be? Okay, number 3. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Well, again, I would say that I want to be the master of the mystic arts, Doctor Strange. I'd like to have his ability. The Eye of Agamotto, like if I was able to have the time stone and loop time, like if I was able to do all that stuff, I mean, it would be amazing. I don't even know what I'd do, to be honest. I'd have so many abilities and so many ideas to what's possible. So that would be the superpower. And I know most people would say like, oh, super flight, super strength, invulnerability and healing, and just things like that. But this is different. This is kind of what I would picture myself doing. Okay, so that's the answer for number 3. Number 4, do you prefer superheroes or supervillains? At times, I prefer both. I'd say the majority would be superheroes because, you don't want to see, supervillains rarely win. That's the thing I like about Infinity War, is that Thanos won. At the end of the movie, you really got to see what he went through, and you kind of felt for his character in a way. I mean, what he did to Gamora and all that. But Thanos won, and you don't really get to see that. I mean, you could say that Zemo won in Civil War, too. He's the one who tore apart the Avengers from the inside. Something that Ultron wasn't even able to do. Zemo did it. And so there are times that I root for the villains. It just depends on... It depends on the situation and what villain you're talking about. If it's just a villain that's just like, ha ha ha, you're done, I'm gonna rule the world, then it's not, I'd rather see the superheroes win. But if the villain has some kind of motive or something that he's trying to do other than that, and you get some backstory to him in whatever situation they're in, I'll cheer for the villain too. So to answer that question, I would say the majority, I would go for the superhero. Question number 5, do you prefer Marvel or DC? Now, here is where I'm going to be, I'm completely honest with anything, but this is, in all honesty, I cannot choose. Lately, Marvel has been doing better movies than DC, in my opinion. Aquaman was great, Wonder Woman was great, Man of Steel was great. I even like Batman v Superman. Suicide Squad was trash, in my opinion. Marvel has been... I think Marvel has a lot more hits, but as far as comic books go, I read a lot more DC comics. I read a lot more Batman comics, Superman comics, Flash comics, Justice League. I read a lot more DC comics than I did Marvel comics. When I read Marvel comics, it was more like X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. It just depends, I guess, on what we're talking about as far as, like, are we talking about the Marvel movie brand, or are we talking about Marvel comics, or are we just talking Marvel in general? I really want to say that I like both of them pretty much equally, because they both have different, within that brand, they all have different brands that are good, like, as far as characters go. So I really cannot choose. I am not a fanboy of one more than the other. I like both. That's just my answer. I like both. Look at me. I'm sporting a Batman t-shirt and Batman, beanie, pretty much. But then I got an Infinity War poster over there, and I got, Spider-Man figures, Iron Man figures, Hela, Ultron. I like both, so. Number 6, who is your favorite DC character and why? Well, Batman. Obviously. Like I said, I'm sporting the Batman look here. Batman is, to me, unique because he's human. And, he reminds me of Tony Stark. Tony Stark has all the gadgets. He's a human. He has all the gadgets to fight evil and fight villains. And he could easily die without his suit. Batman is kind of the same way. He has gadgets. He's always a step ahead of everybody. He's a detective. He's very smart. And when it comes to superpowers, it's like he doesn't. You know, he's going up against these people. Like, you know, when he's fighting Superman and stuff, like, you know, he comes up with ideas like, oh, Superman's weakness is kryptonite, obviously. So it's like he creates weapons to fight him in an armored suit. Batman always has, I want to say, he's always a step ahead of everybody. He always does his research on things. And that's what I love about his character. He's, no matter who he's going up against, if it's, you know, somebody with amazing powers, he can always find a way to shut them down. And that's brilliant to me. So yeah, you know, Batman was actually the person that I was gonna say, you know, if I were a superhero, who would I be? It'd be, you know, I was gonna say Batman because, you know, he's just awesome. But that changed. But he is my favorite DC character. So, I mean, I love the '89 Batman with you know, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, and Batman Returns with Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer, and of course Batman Begins, which nobody talks about. The Christopher Nolan trilogy, you know, The Dark Knight. I do not like The Dark Knight Rises, but you know, yeah, those. I just love Batman movies, and hell, even I forgot to mention this, one of the greatest animated movies ever. Batman Mask of the Phantasm, especially the Batman the Animated Series from the 90s. You know, Batman is, I just love the character. No matter what. So that's number 6. Final question, number 7. Who is your favorite Marvel character and why? Well, as of right now, it is Captain America. Captain America, you know, I would probably say Doctor Strange, since, you know, that's who I would want to be if I was a superhero. But that's kind of different as who is my favorite character. Captain America is my favorite. Especially when we're talking about the movies. Chris Evans is Captain America. Like, his character in the movies, he's so... He just inspires me. You know, he doesn't give up. He does the right thing. He serves his country and all that. I love his character. And I was going to say Wolverine or Logan. I was going to say Wolverine would be my favorite character, which probably a lot of people would say. But I like what Captain America stands for. You know, he's a worthy soldier and he's a worthy superhero. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Captain America is my favorite. So, those are my answers to the 7 questions about Marvel versus DC. A very, very good topic. I really enjoyed this a lot. You know, definitely check out my channel. I got a bunch of superhero stuff going on. I just did my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection as far as the movies go. I did my X-Men collection. I show you all my X-Men films and stuff and things that have to do with X-Men. I'm going to be doing some top 10 superhero stuff here soon, but I'm also getting back into horror. I'm just going to start back up with some horror things. I got my top 10 favorite 80s horror films coming up soon. So there's just different stuff on my channel. But right now I'm going to tag some people. And some of these people, I don't know if they've ever been tagged or not. I know Sean Urshan tagged a lot of people, like Bronco Juggalo, Horrific Nightmares Jam, and all them. So I'm not going to tag them. Here's who I tag: Alex 2.0, HorrorFan34, and I will list all these in the description if you're interested. So Alex 2.0, HorrorFan34, Chucky Doll, who used to be Chucky from Child's Play 2. So Chucky Doll, Kimberly Ashcraft. I really enjoy your videos, Kimberly. All your updates and stuff. Jen's Reviews from the Grave, a really awesome channel. I remember them from before, but now that I have, you know, a different channel, I don't know if they remember me or not, but I really enjoy their reviews. The Horror, I really enjoy her as well. James Bamsey, he comments on my videos a lot. Christopher Fawcett also comments on my videos a lot. And I'm not sure if, you know, if you guys would be interested in doing like a response, you know, like a tag video or not, but I'm just throwing that out there. The last one I'm going to tag is Movie Massacre. So, I thank you guys very much for watching this. Really, like I said, really awesome tag video. I'll put Isaac's reviews, his channel in the description. So definitely check him out. And thank you for watching this. Once again, this is Rob signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.